Welcome everybody to the 6th episode of Serial Talk Podcast. We're all here. Gally's here today. Gally, say hi.
Hey guys.
Okay, what did you just ask me?
What do you think about PS5?
I haven't looked at it at all, actually.
I think not rumors. I think it started as rumors, but then they released like the info on it, and it's supposed to be pretty good, pretty strong.
It's a good update.
I thought he would know. That's why I was bringing it up.
Looked,
I think it's like an 8 something, 8
It's
core,
an
8 hard drive. I don't know what the 8 is, but
There's
it's
no
something.
CD in it, is there?
No, there is. There's a CD
really?
drive, and it's PS4 compatible. I know that.
That's dope. That's good.
And then it has something called 3D audio. I don't know what that means.
Just sounds like.
And then it has something called SSD, which I think SSD is it makes. I think the
You're
thing
so
that they were
knowledgeable.
saying. I know this. So the thing that they were saying, or the rumor or whatever, was that if you take like a Spider-Man load right now, from like one side of the map to the other, it takes like 12 or 18 seconds to load into the next part.
Yeah.
And with this SSD or whatever, it changes that to under a second. It's like 0.8
Oh,
of
whoa,
a second.
what?
So it's like a radical.
So it's like super powerful.
That's what they said. Yeah, and I mean I might 100% might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I just listened to the video like 2 days ago, and I'm thinking that's what he said. But I was hoping you'd have more info on
0.8.
it.
I have it right here. 0.8 seconds.
Boom.
Is around 15 seconds to go one place to another, but now it's 0.8 seconds.
That's crazy, dude.
That's pretty big.
That's
They're
pretty
talking about
big.
Spider-Man.
And then there's also with that, they're saying that there might be a Battlefield Bad Company 3 released with it, which I played the second one all the time, so that's kind of cool for me. I don't know. It's just weird to think that there's already a new generation of games or systems about to come out.
What do you think about Battlefield right now?
It was rushed, I think.
I think
Battlefield-
Battlefield. I think it got so politicized, and it actually really hindered itself from
It
that.
did. It did for sure. I think it's trying to rebound.
I hope
by
so
going
because
back to like fan favorite
EA,
stuff.
EA has been doing crap like that forever. Did you know that they got like a couple years ago they got voted one of the top five worst companies to work for?
Really?
Yeah, something like that.
I wonder if they
That could be wrong.
fire a
Could
bunch of
make that
people a
up,
lot
but
too. You
I
assume
heard
that
that
something
they
that
do.
big with like how volatile like I feel like video game markets are very volatile
I don't understand.
because I mean you
Your
get
game's so
games
fun.
like right, but like there's so many games out there that and so many different developers that if people aren't buying them, like
Yeah.
you're not making like
You're done.
you could probably only name 25 to 30 games that are popular right now. You know what I mean? Like that are really popular on console at least. I don't know
Console,
about PC.
yeah, but PC's
But there's
another
hundreds
game.
of games on
PC's
console.
another thing entirely.
You got game developers that are just coming up with new games. It's like if they're expensive games to make, which I assume they're really expensive and they take years to do, if you're not making, I don't know, like their percentages, like the profit percentages are on that, but
I don't. Honestly, I couldn't tell you.
that's a crazy world.
That'd be something that I should know, but I don't.
It'd
Now,
be cool I knew a guy that wanted to do like video game design, so he went to college for it, and like the first 8 classes or whatever are all on just like
Coding.
crazy like coding, all these different types of.
Didn't
like,
you do that, Cole?
All these
Yeah,
books.
bro, coding is ridiculous. Coding sucks.
Talk about it. How bad was it?
Oh, it's awful. It's like I think it's probably harder than learning another language in the sense that
It is kind of a language, right?
when you start to learn another language, at least you have like mile markers to tell you like, hey, you've done something. Like if you know how to say a sentence, you're like, oh shoot, I now know how to say that sentence. If I hear somebody say that sentence, I can understand them. Coding is like, okay, learn all of Spanish and then you can create Pong.
And
It's
then
like,
you can.
and then you've done something.
But
it's
like you
like
could go
these-
through that whole time, and then like at the end of it, if you don't have everything right, like,
Yeah,
it won't work.
and it'll tell you like there's an error. Okay, how do I fix the error? I don't know. Okay, thanks, cool.
All right.
Now what? I don't know. Restart. Oh, okay, cool. For the last 15 hours, I've done this, and it's done. Got it. Cool.
That just blows my mind to think about how intricate that stuff is, and then how does that translate to what we see in a game, like jumping around and I don't understand that.
The amount that the computing power that goes into that baffles me. I don't understand.
And then have you seen like the part or the mirror in video games? How it's like really hard to do mirrors, and so they're like cracked. In most games they'll have them like cracked or like tinted or something like that.
Yeah.
But
when a game does it,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, I know.
That's
It's
wicked to
weird.
think.
Yeah.
And another thing is like vaulting. Like that's one thing that the developer of PUBG was talking about. That it was super difficult to get that mechanic into a game of like jumping over an object in the game is like a really intricate thing. Same thing with laying down. A lot of games, like up until like kind of recent, you could only crouch once, and you couldn't lay all the way down. Like it's like an extremely difficult thing to implement into a game based on textures and on like viewing points and all these different types of things. And it blows my mind because I just would want to create the game. I don't know about anything else. I just want to just
that part
create.
sounds fun too.
Who does that? Do you start as a coder of a company and then like 20 years later you're like developing games?
I don't know. Or do they hire
different...
someone like that says, "Hey, I want this. What can we do?" And then go from there.
Is it like a guy with just a bunch of money has like all these ideas?
I mean, if you have enough money, you probably can do that yourself.
But like, all right, there's like the head of DICE or whatever, the people that are in charge of like, all right, we're gonna create a World War II game this time. We're gonna have these types of tanks and this types of maps and all this kind of stuff. Like, who thinks of that?
Well, I know that like Todd Howard, the dude that's created basically the Elder Scrolls series or helped develop into what it is, he started out as a coder. Like most of these dudes start out as coders, and then they go. Trust me, like I've looked in. There's other avenues, like you can be a writer and then help out. But the people that start out these companies that create the games, most of them are coders.
Why isn't there a bigger market for like people who make video games? You know what I mean?
There is. But listen, you guys play like it's console games. So the massive companies with like 1,000 people working on it, that's where they all go.
That's true.
But there's hundreds and hundreds of small developers that work on like computer games.
So why doesn't Disney get into video game making? Why do they let EA do Star Wars?
The same way Apple. Like, why doesn't Apple?
I think Apple.
It's
was
just
there rumors that they were gonna like do that.
Come with a console or something like that. But
I
it's
feel
the
like
same thing.
that's such a. I don't know. I feel like no matter your size, that's such a risky market because you have like 20 years of built up. I mean, you have like Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation.
But if you're a bigger company, you can take the risk. You know what I mean?
You could, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's still just resources that are being allocated to something else. So if Disney's like, hey, we're really good at making movies, why would we take 20% of our shares and go to video games? And if that doesn't work, then all of a sudden, then we're out billions or, hundreds of millions of dollars.
And sure, they'll make up for it, but it's like, let's allocate those dollars to something that we know is going to produce for
But
us.
are they producing well?
Yeah, for sure.
Or what producing?
Like what Disney, what video games? I mean, there's so much potential within like Marvel, Avengers, and superhero stuff that no one's tapping into besides Spider-Man.
Disney does. Think about all the Star Wars games and the one that's coming out.
Yeah, but with EA, they have not like maybe it's just Star Wars in general.
I think it's like a bidding thing. Like Disney's like, hey, we have this IP, that is Star Wars. Yeah, who wants to and who's gonna develop this game because they don't want to build facilities and all these different types of things that have to revolve around them being the game makers
and
they
develop their own systems.
EA,
and things.
You make games. You've been making games for like 20 years. You'll be good at it. Even though if they're not good at it, they learn that later on, and they can go to a different developer.
Who did the first Battlefront?
Yeah. I think
like
Activision?
the old ones.
No,
really
old
ones.
Yeah, the old ones.
THQ.
THQ. Yeah, I think so.
I think they got bought up by someone. Okay. That's the thing. Like Microsoft and like Sony or like big ones or whatever. They buy up so many different studios.
DICE. No, Battlefront. Hold on.
Yeah, Battlefront like 05, I think.
Pandemic.
05.
Pandemic, that's right.
Hey, Madden 05. That's like sounded like Battlefront 05.
Pandemic, and then LucasArts, because LucasArts had their
that's
own.
right. LucArts
had their own console and PC
I think I heard that they're going to bring back LucasArts.
I think
Disney said that LucasArts just video games?
It's like it's video games, and then I think it's like a
the
branch
extra
of the
media. It's like all the other stuff other than the movies. It's what it used to be, because I remember it used to be on like the books and different
I think
things
LucasArts were on like board games and like
board games,
books and I think a lot of different things.
They might have been on the movies. I just don't remember seeing it on.
It might have been like a part of a movie, like if they handled some aspect of it. But I think because Disney's not made near as much money as they wanted to with the Star Wars, like with that IP.
Yeah, they could make so much more.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have the right. It's a Star Wars. I don't know how. I mean, obviously this is just a dumb podcast, but I feel like if you're Star Wars and you're like, or if you're Disney, and you're like, I want to buy Star Wars. It's just like the logical thing. It's like, yeah. We'll buy that. We'll make twice as much immediately. Pretty soon it'll be great. But then, like Star Wars fans are so particular that like I feel like you need to have a huge investment in like understanding what people want. Otherwise, it'll turn on you. Because then they had subpar games that they came out with EA. A lot of people didn't like The Last Jedi for sure. You know, some people didn't like The Force
Most people.
Awakens. Most people didn't like The Last Jedi. I mean, they've
To the
had a
point
lot
where
of
they
like,
boycotted Solo.
yeah, which actually was a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
but
so
you
It
don't
wasn't.
know
It wasn't.
but-
That, it wasn't as bad as The Last Jedi.
No, not at all.
I still think what you call it,
Rogue One.
Rogue One is one.
That was good.
Yeah, Rogue One was
like Rogue
great.
One.
I love.
That
Rogue
might have
One.
been my favorite Star Wars movie.
It might be mine
opinion.
too because it showed. It showed. It was.
Wait,
more
wait.
Like
It might be your favorite Star Wars movies?
Yes.
Your favorite Star Wars movie, Cole?
Yeah.
Really?
Why?
Huh.
What do you expect?
No, I mean, I didn't expect that.
Here's the reason.
I mean,
why.
Revenge of the Sith is cool and all. But
That's my favorite.
That's-
and then
that
Return
would be
of
the only
No,
one
Return of
I
the
would
Jedi
say.
is
Yeah.
my favorite, and then Revenge of the Sith for me.
Jedi, like my
A New
father.
Hope.
A New Hope.
A New Hope.
Classic. Oh,
Why?
Okay.
But is
I
that
love
nostalgia like
No.
coming in, or
Think about it.
why is A New Hope? Because first of all, everything besides the story is low key kind of trash.
What do you
Well,
mean?
the stories. What do you
Compared
It
to
starts
our
off with a freaking ice battle. What are you talking about?
Wait,
Trash.
New
the
Hope?
ice
A New
battle.
You're
Hope?
talking about Empire.
Empire
Yeah,
Strikes
okay.
Back. My bad. My bad.
Okay. Empire
Yeah,
New
all
Hope was
right, I
garbage.
go with that.
Just
All right,
kidding.
A New Hope wasn't garbage. It was good in the sense that it was a breaking, like a
Yeah,
groundbreaking
for its time, it was
thing.
good, but right now it's
Yeah.
not very good.
I
Well-
exaggerated when I said it was garbage. Just compared and to retract what I said.
Yeah, that kind of thing. When you start talking about like movies that came out a long time ago, how they compare now, that
Oh,
gets
you
hard.
can't because I mean,
Yeah,
try
you
to sit
can.
through A New Hope again, or try to sit through any of the original trilogy, and it's
I mean,
not
like,
as
You
easy
can't Empire.
as it was.
Empire is pretty easy to sit through.
See, I think Return of the Jedi is phenomenal.
yeah.
Even still, except for the Ewoks. The
I
Ewoks
actually
are
like the
great.
Ewoks. I remember. Well,
All right, see, you like the Ewoks, but if you, I can tell why people hated them when it came out.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Now
Like, we
that
grew
I'm
up
like-
with them,
yeah.
but I could tell when people like went to the movies, like, what the hell are those things?
you telling me this little fluffy teddy bear just took down a ATST? Like,
Yeah,
what the
that part doesn't make sense.
This
but-
thing can take shots from lasers, but get hit by a tree trunk and it blows
I know,
up.
the tree
What? What?
That's true.
Okay,
I mean, yeah.
you just convinced me. I don't like that. I don't like that scene.
And I feel like it's so much easier. I mean, because as you become more and more like of a fan of something, like you with Marvel, like you're a
Yeah.
huge Marvel fan. I wonder if that'll maybe not now, but at some point there's going to be like where you resent part of the new part of Marvel, like when they come out with this new
It'll be interesting to see.
trilogy thing.
Well, your
whatever
dad
they're
was a
doing.
big Star Wars fan, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was in the sense
So
that
what's he
everyone
feel-
was when like when the movie came out, though. You know, like
So what does he
everyone-
feel about the new? Like whenever before he saw him, what did he think of the new?
Well,
ones?
I think he enjoys the new ones as just being movies because he wasn't like into Star Wars
Okay.
like how Colt and I would have been, or,
Okay.
even you or something when we were growing up. You know, you're like immersed in that, and then you wanted to be like a Jedi, and you had all these toys. He didn't have that, but he still thinks they're fine. But like someone who like us, Colt, who have like loved Star Wars since we grew up, and we had all these sweet video games about Star Wars and toys and everything like that, to going to now that we're like older, even 20s, these new movies are coming out and they're different from what we think they should be.
Envisioned what the future would
Yeah,
be.
so that's why I'm like, is that natural? Does everyone that's a fan of something, when it gets to a certain point,
I heard
do you just not like everything?
or
new?
is it the people that are giving it? You know what I mean? Because I feel like Star Wars it's shifted who is telling the story. So could that be the reason
has.
why?
Yeah.
Because I mean, like we just talked about the new Marvel series coming out with like Wanda Witch and Vision. So WandaVision, I think it was called, and then Bucky and Falcon, as well as the Loki series. And I trust that, but because Marvel's the one doing it, you know what I mean? I feel like, in a sense, I think it's on a different level than the other ones, like Luke Cage, like we talked about, and Daredevil.
I didn't hate Luke Cage. I thought
I
it was
never-
okay.
They
never
weren't.
saw
All
Luke
of them
Cage.
weren't terrible.
I don't think any
They
of them
just-
were really bad. No.
Yeah.
But they're not on the same. That's the thing. They're not on the same level of expectation that you had for the movies.
Even
Or
if the
what you
same
expect it to
writer
be.
is writing it, you have actors that already have the reputation of what they've done within the movies.
But
Right.
in that case, our Star Wars expectations are raised because of what it is, because of what we felt.
Right.
So when you get to these points and they're not meeting it, we've had two where it doesn't meet it. So at this point, anything we look forward to, it's like, I expect this to be trash.
But then people would look at like the Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones, and they'd be like, "Dude, those movies are trash."
those are bad.
You know what I mean?
Phantom
But like, to
Menace
us,
for
it's
sure.
like they're cool, they're fun. That's like the clones, like the Attack of the Clones. It was long, kind of boring.
Which was
the clones
worse?
Were cool.
Was Phantom Menace worse than The Last Jedi?
I think
No.
no,
I
I,
would
don't
say
like
no.
the Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi is that bad in y'all's
But
opinion?
no, but that's the problem. Is I'm so worried I have this huge bias.
Yeah.
Because if I look at Marvel, I can look at Marvel and be like, it was fine, or it wasn't very good, because I don't really care about Marvel like that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You would have a much more opinionated look at it, where like, oh, that movie was bad because of this, this, and this. So I'm worried that when I look at The Last Jedi, I'm like, oh, I don't like that because of these reasons.
Because
and
Luke
I
wouldn't
turned
have-
into like a fanatic, and
Yeah.
I don't want to. You know, what I
Because
mean?
this person wouldn't actually have done that.
Right,
and
exactly.
That's not in their character, so they
Exactly.
screwed it up.
You
Yeah.
feel like you
I do that.
have
We-
an ownership to
when
it.
we went to Colorado, we were in the car, and I was low-key ranting about The Last
Yeah.
Jedi because
Yeah.
I felt that entire. I guess that's a good point. You do have a genuine bias over
But you
it.
wouldn't, Farquhar, you wouldn't really care that much.
I
Like,
mean,
you might
I-
look at The Last Jedi and be like, it was okay, it was fine, or you might
Now,
like
here's
it.
a question.
I don't know. I said it was trash.
Oh, you did?
But, yeah.
As a movie perspective, is from like, or as like a.
I think as a movie perspective.
Yeah, I do
See,
too.
people
I
that
think
like
so,
look
too.
at it as a movie loved it because
Last
of like
Jedi?
because of how
No, I've
unpredictable
never
it was.
heard of anyone-
Because of how divisive parts of it were, but then it like brought you back, and then how it like showed like part of the characters in it, how like their resolve and their power within. I mean, it had a lot of different aspects that I think people think made it a good movie. And it had these like rise and falls, and
See, I don't
super
agree with
unpredictable.
any of that because when it comes down to it, what a story is and what made Star Wars so great is that you love the characters in it. Plain and simple. You love Luke. You love Leia.
sure.
You love Han. You love freaking Chewie. Like you love them all, and you
course
want them to make it. You want them to do good.
Right.
Last Jedi, The Force Awakens. Do you really love Rey? After The Last Jedi, the answer's freaking no.
See,
I don't give a frick about Rey.
Ray wasn't. I mean,
think Ray's
Luke
cool.
was worse than
You
Ray.
love Luke, right? Because of the past. By
But
the end
do
of the
you
movie,
after this?
no.
New Luke
At the end of
sucked.
the movie, you're like, I don't like Luke anymore.
Yeah.
He seems like a psychopath who tried to kill somebody.
Right.
And then he just dies. Then he's done. He's like, okay, I'm gonna handle this, and I'm gonna vaporize. Like you don't like him. Do you like Kylo Ren? No.
No, well, here's the thing with Kylo Ren is like he feels like a forced villain. Like he's not Darth Vader. You know, you're not scared of him. You're not like
He doesn't
worried.
live up to expectations, but he doesn't have a personality that's endearing.
At least with
whatsoever.
like Anakin, like you saw development with him, and then
Yeah.
you saw like what made him go bad, and like all those kind
Kylo's
of
just
things.
this douchebag right off the bat, and then you have the big bad who's there for like 7 seconds and gone. Like
That was weird.
I
Snoke.
think those elements
Oh,
are
yeah.
what made that movie not good. You don't really care about anybody. The bad guys aren't really that bad, and you don't really care that they're being bad.
You only see
and
a
then it falls
stormtrooper
apart.
for like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
So, yeah. Or
and
That's
then
true.
The
Yeah.
cool stuff about the movie, like you don't. There's not as much.
It was all in the trailer.
It's all in the trailer.
That was that trailer was. I honestly would watch the trailer over the movie. That like for 2 hours I'd sit there and watch the trailer.
You better
Like
have-
that
Do you guys
scene-
remember the trailer?
Yeah.
It was bad.
It was so
yeah.
hype when they're freaking going on that red, white, whatever that
Yeah,
plane.
I know.
You're like, what is happening? This
I
is the
know.
coolest world ever.
That's funny. Like when trailers like kind of ruin movies. Like Batman vs Superman had the coolest trailer, like teaser. Whenever he like lands, he's like, "Tell me, do you bleed?" And then like it's not even.
That's
in
right,
that
I
part.
forgot about that. Yeah,
that
that
was
was cool.
I was so hyped for Batman vs Superman because of that. But then when the movie came out, I was. It's one of those things you leave the movie theater and it's like you're almost mad because it didn't, it wasn't good.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's how I was with Last Jedi. I was like, I was so hyped for it. I remember we all went and saw it and we were like
Walk
we
out with
have
your like
been.
head down. 'cause
Yeah,
you're
we're like,
this sucks.
and like you're fighting it. I fought it for like a week of it being a good movie. I was like, yeah, like I didn't feel good after it, but like it was a good movie. And then finally, I admitted to you, I think I was like, yeah, that movie sucked.
Right. And kind of real quickly going back on that, the thing that I don't really like about the new Star Wars is how it almost seems like a cut and paste of the first trilogy that they came out with. You know, where there's like
yeah, I know
there's
it's
an
supposed
empire.
to rhyme, is what they said.
There's an empire, a big group of bad guys, and there's like a small group of good guys, and the good guys are always on the run. But then the bad guys have a big super weapon, and the good guys find a way to blow it up. But then
After the bad Superman
Right.
does all this bad stuff.
and then the next movie, there's another bad super weapon, and then they blow that one up too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, but they did that same like plot kind of, but on a smaller scale. Because at least in the original trilogies, it felt like the Empire's bad. Like
Yeah.
they're like enslaving people. Like it's like a thing. It's a galaxy-wide thing.
and you feel it.
Yeah.
You know
This
that,
new
okay,
one-
around this character is this universe, is this galaxy
Right.
where a lot of bad crap is happening.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. Continue your thoughts.
Well,
Sorry.
yeah, because like at the end of the Last Jedi, you have all of the good guys on one ship. You have them all in the Millennium Falcon. There's
Very
like 18
small.
dudes.
Yeah, like,
It's like
very
really,
small.
if that's all the good guys are in this galaxy, then who cares?
Yeah.
Like who really cares? It doesn't feel like it's a big. It doesn't feel like a galaxy.
Because
like
you
a
don't
big
care about the
world.
characters. If you,
don't
love,
care about 'em.
if you love 3 of those people on that ship, you'd be like, shoot, I hope this works out for them.
Yeah.
But you don't, because you just don't care about them.
And we haven't seen any cool like space battles that make us
No,
want to.
and
Like,
then like
at least get us entertained.
We don't even understand the universe. Like, we don't understand what's happened. So this small sect that used to be the Empire, which technically in our eyes should be the rebels, right? Because they're rebelling against this new republic. In theory, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. And then
sure.
they blow up
Okay,
everything.
I see what you're saying.
Isn't that right? Then they blow up like all the other planets.
It just blew up everybody.
And
It's
so-
like, okay.
The New Republic, right?
It blew up the New Republic,
Yeah.
which everyone that like followed along with like the non-canon version of Star Wars after the Revenge of the Sith, or after the Return of the Jedi, like the New Republic turns into this big thing, and you have dozens of books, and you have all these people that like invested like tons of like time into studying the legends of Star Wars and like how cool it was, how Luke became this like badass and like
Like he built this
Han
temple, and he's taking all these
and, like,
people.
Yeah, and like all these different types of things. And they added, they brought in a couple of those little things, but they got rid of them pretty
Do you
quick
think
too.
it's almost symbolic? Like, now that I'm thinking about it, that scene in The Force Awakens where they shoot all those missile thingies and it blows up all these worlds, could that possibly be symbolic to them destroying the Star Wars Legends
just
universe?
destroying the canon.
Absolutely
like,
destroying it. Like,
Because-
oh, you wrote that book? Boom, it's gone.
Well, honestly,
Symbolic.
like if you like, I mean, you don't have to read every book, but you can go on YouTube and look up summaries or whatever of the legends of what happens after episode 6. It's a lot cooler than anything that they've come
Right?
out with since. It's a lot cooler. This is just a rehash of the first 3 movies of 4, 5, and 6. It's just a big bad guy and a little guy, and they're just fighting each other, and the little guy takes him out. It's just David and Goliath again.
If you would have had, like, the Yuzon Vong show up,
Yeah,
that would have been
it was
so
different.
dope. That's totally different. Luke could still be in this thing.
I
Han
think I think their problem and the thing that it created an issue is because you had J.J. Abrams who started his vision, right? And
Yeah.
then you had Rian Johnson who took over the second movie, which a lot of times would be the most important movie of a trilogy, would be that middle one because it's a catalyst to bring, or it's a bridge to put them all together.
it's a continuation.
So
It's
if
a
he goes
build-up.
far out of left field in his second movie, and then the third movie is like, oh, we got to kind of redo parts of that, which you already saw. In the trailer for the third one, Kylo Ren is putting back his helmet. Because the first movie, J.J. Abrams, he was like, the helmet is going to kind of be like a Darth Vader symbol where the masked man is scarier than an unmasked. That's why stormtroopers were scary and all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. It was like a uniform thing. And then in the second movie, Rian Johnson was like, nah, like we got to see his face. So he broke the helmet. And the third one, J.J. Abrams has it again, so he's building up the helmet again. It's like they're kind of like a mini fight between the.
Yeah, I don't like
but,
it.
You know, in the originals, you had George Lucas and his vision on it, right?
Yeah.
Even in the first 3 prequels, it was George's
They all
vision.
write it separate though. Like they.
Yeah, like J.J. Abrams directs the first and third one, and Rian
Well, yeah, I
Johnson
know,
directed
but
the middle
are
one.
are they the writers too behind it? Or
I
what?
bet they probably have an influence on the writing.
But like, why would they not get together? I'm sure they did. but
right? I
like,
mean,
why did
but-
they not envision
but
and
the-
like put it together better?
I mean, it could.
Say that part again. I didn't.
Like, why
couldn't?
couldn't they envision? Like, why didn't they get together and envision?
Who was right
Like
now?
Rian Johnson and why didn't Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams like collaborate on what Star? Maybe they did. I don't know, but it just doesn't seem like
maybe
they are.
this is their plan the whole
Yeah,
time.
but I don't like that idea
It
because it's not a very good
feels-
plan.
it feels like it's getting duct taped
They've
together.
got, I mean, there's one more movie, right?
Yeah.
There's one more movie, and that could be great. But the problem is the original trilogy. You already had 2 great ones,
Yep.
right? You had 6 and 5 was at least phenomenal. I mean, people regard 5 as the best Star Wars movie all the time. So in a trilogy, I don't know if only one of them can be good in order to call the trilogy good,
So
right?
So, well, I mean, I didn't think The Force Awakens is bad, but that's also me. Like you said, I'm not
It's
huge.
it's not bad.
It's not bad.
compared to
It's a fine
The Last
beginning
Jedi.
of it.
Yeah, I thought it was should be a stepping stool. I get it. It's fine. If you're looking at the original trilogy, it's about as good as A New Hope back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I
it's,
would say so.
It's like, okay, this is gonna be cool. What happens next?
It's literally
Who's
the
their
same movie.
parents?
It really is,
literally
man.
is. It literally is. Like they didn't answer. Do we still know who her parents are? No, they're supposed to be like nobodies, right?
Well,
Yeah.
we don't know what Snoke is all about. We
He
heard
died.
him, and then he died in the second one.
And now we hear,
and then
like,
we didn't hear
Palpatine.
about.
You
Like,
didn't
we
even see him in the first one.
No,
You saw him
a
at the very
shadow
end. You
or
saw him at the.
something.
Remember, it was like
His
a
projection.
post
You
You
credit.
see a
It was a
hologram.
projection.
Oh, you see,
Right, yeah.
It's a hologram, but it's not.
No,
No,
yeah,
you
that's
see
what you
his
see.
face. Like you
I
see
mean,
everything.
Yeah, but like you don't
zooms
see
in.
him. You don't know his color. You don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
you do.
yeah, you do because he zooms in. Remember, he zooms into the
He's
light.
like this big giant statue, and he zooms in,
and then he's got like all
he
those
goes away.
scars and nastiness
Oh.
and all that stuff.
Apparently, the technology in Star Wars has gotten better because now they're not blue shimmers; they're actually like real in their holograms.
Yeah, it's gotten better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, that's true. He also on the ship too. Or
But so the 4 or 7 wasn't bad. it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It was fine. But then 8, you had an expectation that it would at least
especially
be better,
the trailer
and
being amazing.
and it ruined a lot of things for people. And like even if you look at like a universe or whatever and try to be like, okay, well then why didn't that happen before? Like the hyperspace ram. Remember when like the girl that had the big Mon Calamari ship or whatever?
Yeah.
She like hyperspaced into
the ship.
The ship. And it was a really cool scene.
Yeah.
Like it was awesome. It was the best part of the movie.
It really was.
It was very cool, but then it like, well, then why didn't that happen before? Like, why
Yeah.
didn't everyone do that?
Yeah.
Why don't you just fly an X-wing through the Death Star and get it over with? Or like put a droid on the ship and just send all
I
these
never even
droids
thought
out.
about that.
I mean, it like kind of broke the system a little bit. And then in the next movie, I mean, you know, that could be petty. Obviously, it's kind of petty.
Yeah, because I mean, you could say that with real life too. Like, obviously, like if you crash another warship and another warship, it's going to do some serious damage.
Right. I
So
mean,
then
it's
you'd be
petty
like-
for sure, but it's still
You're like,
something
well, why
that's
don't
like...
we do that? Well, it's because we're crashing freaking warships into other warships. Like,
And people really just wanted a fight. And like, people really like space battle. Like, that's like
Yeah.
a thing that...
we human
Or
beings
fun.
like to watch war.
Or
Like, we love to watch
Luke.
fights.
I think the main thing I wanted to see was Luke in like modern day technology movie
Yeah,
fighting a
I want to see
lightsaber,
Luke
a freaking
after, like, I want to
lightsaber.
see Master Luke after
Yeah.
all these many years of being just crazy Jedi.
The
after
best
what he
Jedi
did.
to ever live.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
you've
then he
read
gets his
stories,
ass kicked
but
by
you
Rey.
see because he's like limited by technology in the first ones. That's you don't get to see.
But
like,
even,
Right,
like-
exactly.
but-
you didn't have those
Yeah.
types of options to
yeah,
create
and then
these
I think that's
massive
what
things.
makes me like Revenge of the Sith is because you get to see Anakin.
And
Go
Obi-Wan.
crazy.
Think about
go
the opening
crazy
scene
at
of
the
Revenge
end.
of the Sith.
Yeah,
Remember that huge battle over
Yeah.
Coruscant? All
Oh,
these
yeah.
spaceships. Everybody's like, "Oh wow, this is big," and then it was big the whole time. And then the fighting between the like the lightsaber fighting was so awesome. And all that stuff. And I thought that. I mean,
Star Wars has always felt like, I mean, it really truly feels like a saga. Like, inside of one movie, there are multiple things that happen. Like, they go to this point, then this point, and this point, and this point. The, what is it, The Last Jedi, didn't it feel like they really only went 2 places?
they went to that weird planet. With
They went to
the
the weird
horses,
planet.
which was random.
Well,
as
no.
crap.
I don't even include that.
Unneeded,
That
not
was
even
the
needed.
stupidest plot line in the world.
Yeah.
It
Unneeded.
was so bizarre.
it's like
So,
they just needed something for fans.
cut that out, move
They
that
should
to
have
the
left
side.
him in a coma the whole time.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Do
isn't
something
you
with
care?
Yeah.
Make him. I thought he should have been he would have been cool as a Jedi. That was like
He
that was
would.
where everyone was going with it because
Yeah.
he held the lightsaber. You don't have to. People are like, oh, you can't. You don't give into expectations. I don't know who says that, but I feel like that was the board meeting was like, we're gonna make people think he's gonna be a Jedi, but
Yeah.
he won't. He's just a dude.
Let's
It's like no.
Let's
like,
have it do
people
the
wanted
opposite.
that.
Let's have it do the. Let's not think he's going to do something cool, and then do something super cool instead of making us think,
Right.
oh, the cool thing's going to happen. No, just kidding.
Yeah,
We're going to make it boring.
I'm tired of seeing one Jedi. Like
Yeah.
I saw that in the first trilogy. It was just Luke, and then Obi-Wan died, and Yoda's on a deathbed. Like that's
Yeah.
what, like you have Luke, and then you get the prequels, and you have all these Jedi, and it's like so cool.
The good thing is though that you get the like the series, the non-Skywalker series or saga or whatever they call it. That's coming up at least.
Well,
so there's
okay.
potential.
Here's what I'm going to say. All the movies, they have different settings. Like, they're all throughout these different places. Like, start off in Hoth, and then you go to Dagobah, and then you go to Bespin, and in just one movie, right? And they're in multiple places. Like, they're on different spaceships. That last one, they're in really 2 places. They're on that one planet for like 10 minutes. I guess Rey's over there doing something, and then there's just one space battle where they're running.
Yeah.
That's it.
Not even a space
That's
battle.
it. And it's not a space battle. They're just running away.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're running out of gasoline. What we gonna do? I don't know. Let's keep going. Okay, well, we're gonna leave. You stay here.
If the big ship could go into hyperspace, could it?
Bro, you right.
I feel like it wouldn't even affect. I mean, it
I
probably
can't remember
would,
enough.
but-
They might have been
I
like,
don't
we
know.
can't make too many more jumps or something
And then
like that.
like the land battle at the end, which was supposed to be
Oh,
like
it's
really
just-
sick.
yeah.
Like it was just like
They shot Luke and then they went home.
and like those big walkers or whatever.
Oh, and what they drove out too, and then they retreated. This is a movie of running. There's like,
They were
oh,
on
let's
these
go
like
get them, guys.
crappy
And they're
little
like turning
speeders.
around.
They were like on these
They're
little
like,
speeder
"Ah."
things,
I know.
and they were just all getting blown up.
That dig into the ground. Like, you're telling me you're Star Wars and you still have to have something on the ground?
Very bizarre.
What? Shut
Yeah.
up. That's
and,
not true.
And then like at least
At least
blow
they
up
look
one of
cool.
the walkers. Like at least blow up one of the bad guys.
Take down
things.
something.
They didn't
Have
even
some
take-
kind of
Have
victory.
They
Luke.
didn't.
That could have been Luke's bad moment. He takes out like all the walkers. Something like uses the Force, like
Yeah,
Darth
like crushes
Vader does
them.
in the comic books. He freaking takes down a whole Star Destroyer.
Exactly.
What if Luke was just like, I'm gonna take you out?
Yeah, and it was like Luke, it was cool that Luke didn't get blown up, I guess, but
Sort
I would
of.
have liked to think it would have been cooler if he blew up them. It was just like, hey, I'm gonna crush all these ships.
I
Like,
think
that'd
it
be
would have been
sick.
cooler if he was like there in person and he was like deflecting the lasers when they were shooting him. Don't you think
Yeah.
that'd be
That would
cooler?
have been sick.
Yeah, I don't know why he
And
wasn't.
Even like the little things like that, like the last scene, like when they're about to leave or whatever, like when they were talking about allies. Remember when like they called out for allies? It would have been sick if you would have like if they would have panned up and in the sky and then all these like ships jump in. It's like
and then
all
you have
these
a
dudes-
battle that's like a simple fix.
Yeah, and
We
you
are better than
I
them.
know.
We should have wrote Star Wars. God.
I said no one came. BS.
Nobody came.
You have a big battle with Luke fighting in the
Bro,
middle in real
all right,
life.
They've got probably
Kylo Ren and Luke fighting, and then Rey comes out of nowhere too.
this is a galaxy that's completely inhabited.
I think it's been
There's trillions and trillions of quadrillions
Apparently-
of things.
everybody has been shot by that one thing. So like, no, it's all.
But they only
the-
blew up,
the
like,
universe
4
sucks
planets.
now. That's what I thought.
planets
There was like
that were
what
right
they
by
said.
each other.
The
So
Haas-
why would the New
Literally,
Republic
it's
all
one
be right
solar
by each
system.
other? Right?
That was a dude. Think about that. They're shooting planets that could see each other.
Yeah.
That means that they're literally from us to the moon.
Yeah.
That's like okay. There's 2 planets.
Oh, that's the New
It
Republic.
takes them light years to get places.
Yeah, and like
Shut
30 years-
the frick
I
up.
know.
30
With a
years
flip
before-
of a switch, you could go.
30 years before, you had Death Stars like back to back. Like, don't
Yeah.
you think that maybe you should kind of be a little careful of things?
Yeah, why did the New Republic get something? Be like, oh no, we're done with it. All the nukes are gone. We're just
We're just gonna be happy. again.
We'll get our spears and we'll go walking out
Could have
there.
wrote a better movie. So what do you think of like they just released the title of the trailer? So the trailer was dope. What do you think of the title?
What was the title?
It's the Rise of Skywalker.
Well, that's weird.
I know.
That
What
puts
does that
me
mean?
off guard.
Is she
Luke is
Skywalker?
dead, and then they're gonna be like, just kidding. She's not a peasant person. She's actually a
Yeah,
Skywalker.
the Rise of
If they
Skywalker.
do that, it's like okay. At this point, it's like all right.
We
cool,
haven't
man.
talked about Leia floating back to the ship.
Or how about them killing off
we
Admiral
could
Akbar?
do a whole
Yeah, without like saying
Admiral
anything.
Akbar, a fan favorite. Just he's dead. See ya.
He's had
with
like
no like
with nothing.
special
Nothing.
scenes.
She's like,
Yeah.
oh, there he goes.
And then-
Let's go look at Kylo sad.
The
Let's go
one
look
good
at him.
thing, you were like, oh, maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was just like a regular, admiral, like that looked
Whatever
like
they're
him.
called, I can't
But then,
remember.
like the next scene, they're like, yeah, Admiral Akbar and the other people are dead. It's like, really? Like that's all you given him? Like he was a fan favorite. Don't you
Even though
see
he
that?
had like one line though.
But that's all you needed.
It's a
Like
trap.
it was and people created books on that, and like
Yeah.
he was in charge of like the whole New Republic fleet, and also who are the Resistance, and then why aren't they the New Republic? Why is that a difference?
That's what I'm saying. They should be this little faction of Nazis should be like the rebels. They should be the crazy people. The Republic should be going after them. So
Yeah.
I don't feel like
I feel like
this.
everyone in the world or in the galaxy should be like, hey, these guys are bad guys. They just
Mon
blew up.
Calamari. That's what his species is.
So
Yeah, did I say that? What'd I say?
no,
Did
I
screw
don't
that up?
know.
I would have even been okay if like Luke still died in the end, but if he was in person, you know what I
he
mean?
died a cool
like if
way.
he was like Obi-Wan way, like he was like gave the whole speech he did, and he was like maybe did the speech while he was fighting him, like holding up the lightsaber, and I will not be the last.
It's the same
Jedi.
thing as this. Like, all right, so if you started Star Wars chronologically, right? Not the way that they did, but if you started at Phantom Menace and went on, they would not have killed Yoda in Episode 5 like they did, right? Because you had Yoda in Episode 1, 2, and 3 in particular. He was a badass
Yeah.
and this like super strong Jedi. By Episode 5, you're not just gonna be like, yeah, he just dies on a deathbed
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
That's like you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't build a guy up like that so heavily in all these different ways that he's like the strongest Jedi ever.
He's like one of the
And
greatest
then-
masters to
right,
ever
and
live.
then he just see ya.
see.
But that's what they did with Luke. But they did it in a less cool way.
But that
because
also worked.
He
like that Yoda scene. Like even if you look at it chronologically, it kind of works because you're like, okay, Yoda. He's here for his final mission, and it was to train Luke. He's
Right.
900 years old.
That's
he's done.
fine.
See, I'm okay
because
with
they
that.
train Luke, who's like the next.
But
next
they don't
Yoda,
train.
like,
They
the
don't
next
train
greatest
Rey.
thing.
No, that's what I'm
So-
saying.
so
if you would have
question,
trained Rey,
why-
I'd been like, I can't take it anymore. It's all
They had like
you.
a
And then
5-minute
disappear.
scene of Luke training Rey, kind of, which wasn't even really.
But
And
why-
she beats him, bro. She,
beats him.
freaking beats him. This is the master. This is the master.
But why is
Oh my god.
Go
why
tell me.
in the new trailer, Luke? You hear Luke's voice say, "You can't learn anything more." How?
That's a boost.
She knows nothing.
But like, how you can't like? We've already taught you everything we know. How is that possible? Can
Apparently
have
super
Force
easy to be a
Ghosts-
freaking Jedi.
Have Force Ghosts ever like taught before?
Yes, they have.
They have?
They have for sure.
So what? She's gonna be hanging out with like Anakin, Luke, and Yoda, and Obi-Wan.
It was cool that
and all
Yoda
of them
came in.
are.
I like that. Like the old Yoda.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was dope.
But that was, like, the
Actually,
most
thinking
hype
about that
of
makes
the
my
whole
heart,
movie, though.
heart more warm.
That was
Yeah.
like one of the best parts of the movie.
But
There's
then,
3 parts.
You know what
had
was
that.
disappointing was just like when Luke came out, and you're like, "Oh my gosh!" And then he like
Drinking
he got
nipple
shot. And you're
milk.
like he deflected it somehow. And then like he fought and he did the cool dodge move. And you're like, oh my gosh, how did he do that?
And it kept showing his feet move. And you're like, damn it, like what's going on here?
And
This
then
is
all of a
weird.
sudden he goes through it and then he just disappears. And I remember like my feeling in my chest was like, yeah, I don't know about that. Like everything was so hype until yeah. So and then like even if he projected and then didn't die at the end, it would have been even better than dying at the end.
Why was his projection? Why was that like the best thing he could ever do?
That's what I'm saying.
Like why did that drain him? Like maybe that is really hard, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like
But it's not movie type.
Technically,
cool,
he
you know?
I mean, he just put an image of himself.
I mean Obi-Wan took a lightsaber and just disappeared, and that was kind of dope.
But he also did it to sacrifice himself so they could get away. It was
Right.
purposeful. What was Luke's purpose in dying? Oh, Yoda's was, okay, I have finished my job. My training is done. I have to leave, so it's all on you.
Luke's the chosen one. I
thought Anakin was the chosen one.
Anakin was a chosen.
Anakin is the chosen one. You're right. Anakin's the chosen
Dang, dude, I just corrected this
High five,
man.
bro.
Give me
one. Oh, you
that
did.
love.
That probably didn't sound good on the mic.
Yeah.
But
Everyone just stop
you're right.
listening.
You're right.
Headphones out.
You're right, because Luke,
No.
All
Luke
three
was
people.
right. You're right. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I feel like everybody's death had a purpose. Obi-Wan's was to sacrifice himself for Luke.
Right.
Yoda was to continue the mission. I'm done training you. My mission's done. You go defeat Darth Vader. I'm done. What
Darth
is
Vader's
Luke's?
was to take
To
out the
freaking-
Emperor and restore balance, which he did too.
Yeah. So
Everyone did their mission.
Everybody did their
And then
mission.
they add in these new
and
people.
then
It's like,
Luke shows up and says, "I don't want to do it anymore. I'm done." And it's over. He doesn't train. He doesn't help. He shows up with a picture and then he goes home.
yeah, and he tries to kill a Padawan, and then that Padawan turns into
Yeah,
a bad guy.
like freaking Luke's psycho now.
yeah.
What?
Wait, and so you're telling me the strongest Jedi ever, with all of his like Jedi Padawans and younglings or whoever, like
Sees a
They
little
got all-
darkness in this dude and wants to kill him.
so Luke got knocked out by a hut falling on him. So then his whole temple burned and everyone died. Like, remember he was about to strike down
And then-
Kylo, and then Kylo was like, "Oh, I'm gonna collapse this tent hut onto you."
Think about this. How hard was he trying to turn the most evil man in the universe back to good? Darth Vader, his father, right?
Yeah.
Trying
Yeah.
to turn him back to good. Kylo Ren, he sees a glimpse
Yeah.
of evil in him, and he says, "I'm gonna kill him."
No wonder. I know Mark
No, that's
Hamill.
a
No
good
wonder
point.
Mark
I've never-
Hamill said all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean,
No
how could
wonder.
you not?
I know.
For so many years, that's you. Like, that's
Yeah.
your person.
Yeah.
He's Luke.
I wish we had like Ryan Reynolds to come in with his little time machine thing and Deadpool 2.
And fix
Just
it
go
all.
shoot everyone. Just not even like, hey, y'all just done. Just
Hey,
stop.
honestly, X-Men just rewrote everything.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
is
if you
honestly.
understand
Oh.
that you have messed up, that's an awesome way to fix it. Be like, okay, look, guys, we're gonna
Yeah.
fix it.
X-Men
We're going straight.
many movies after the point that they messed up, and they're
Yeah.
just like, all right, we just gotta redo this. Like, and that, I
Might
mean,
as well.
if
Go
you have
ahead.
to, although
And X-Men didn't mess up as bad as Star Wars.
No.
But none of us care about X-Men
No,
nearly as
yeah.
much.
maybe for an X-Men like fanatic, they screwed up.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
But I don't really know any X-Men
I don't-
fanatics, man.
I don't
Maybe-
even.
I don't.
They're probably out
anyway,
there.
I don't know, dude. Have you ever met
Yeah,
X-Men?
think
I've
about it.
known a
probably be just a
Wolverine,
little-
someone
They'd
that's
probably
like.
be just a little bit older than us.
They
I
would.
think when the first
but
one
think
came
about
out.
it.
Okay.
They would have
like,
made a movie.
when they first came
27
out.
maybe.
Okay.
They would
yeah.
have made a movie if it wasn't like if there weren't fanatics out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, there were kids that like had
That's the
like,
reason they made Iron
the
Man, 'cause
little
everybody loves
claw
Iron Man.
thing, and
Everyone what?
everybody loved Iron Man. Like,
Before?
yeah, Iron Man was one of like the best superheroes.
No,
Bro,
they were very
what-
skeptical about going into
comic
making
stuff?
Iron Man.
What? But I'm not saying
here's
like.
the thing: other than Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman, I didn't know like
Yeah,
anything about
same.
superheroes.
Even when the first Avengers came out, I was like, I don't really know anybody. Like, I've
didn't
seen
care
Iron
about it
Man.
either.
Yeah, I didn't really care. They've hyped it up.
Hulk too.
But
Hulk
like
was
that's like
obviously-
a cool like way of saying just have some patience and trust the process.
Trust a
DC,
good story.
Yeah,
Like, trust
because
a good
they
story.
knew. I mean, they've known forever that they're gonna bring Thanos out since Avengers 1 because he's in the end credit scene.
I didn't know who Thanos was.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah,
I didn't know who that
definitely
purple
didn't.
guy.
I don't know who Thanos was until like
I had
this
to watch
movie.
a bunch of YouTube. Yeah,
I didn't know until Age of Ultron, and I was like, oh, I probably should learn. And then,
I don't remember him in that.
but yeah. So
Yeah.
so back to like the title of the Rise of Skywalker. What did you think of the trailer? Also,
I mean, it looks cool, but they've never not looked cool.
Yeah.
Like every trailer has looked cool.
yeah. But
I don't know.
how do you recover? Like, I don't understand. How would you?
You gotta,
recover?
dude. Honestly,
what would you do?
what I would do to recover if they put me in charge, I'd make some really cool space battles for one. Like, I'd make it look a lot bigger, with massive armies and stuff. You know, because that's just it's fun.
I feel like you got to go way in the future. Because you do at the end, you see the guy use the Force, the little like broom, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah,
And then nothing.
I
It's
forgot about
like,
that little kid.
Oh, like
yeah, I
you got
forgot about that little
kids.
kid,
I know.
I don't know, man.
So
I don't know how
maybe
you
like
fix
years
it, but-
later, and then like you have some resistance.
They just put on new Jedis like Rey died, and they just add, even though she's in the trailer, beginning scene. Kylo Ren's running at her, right? She jumps over, turns around, kills her. He blows up, so it can all be done. They just restart a whole new story.
Credits just start rolling.
Credits
Sorry,
just rolling.
crappy movie.
It's just a 20-minute movie. Dang.
People start cheering.
They the president.
It's better.
The president, Kathleen Kennedy, the president of Star Wars, I think she's the president of Star Wars, Kathleen Kennedy.
don't know.
She's a top person.
Yeah.
I think I didn't click on it, so it might not be true at all. But it was like, I think it was a video that I saw, and the title of it was like Kathleen Kennedy confirms Old Republic series or something.
I saw that. I saw
Okay,
that.
you did see that too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because that's the way to do it. If you're like, hey, how can we
But-
get Star Wars fans back on board? Go to what Star Wars fans
Did they
love.
just not talk to like Star Wars fans though? Whenever they
Bro,
were making,
I
these
don't
movies?
know.
I
don't
feel
think
like they talked to a generation that I don't know. I feel like they talked to the wrong people about it.
They didn't talk to us. That's
They
for
didn't
sure.
talk- That's for dang sure, dude.
They
That's
never
for
asked us. We
dang
do good. We
sure.
represent the people.
Kathleen Kennedy. I also in that same thing. I know that she was talking about making more female protagonists, and which is awesome and great. But I hate it when they do an emphasis on it. They like make it
push
about
it
that.
hard.
Star Wars really has with a lot of that.
Well,
Yeah.
you had Rogue One and Rey, and
But Rogue One, they did it right. Like if you make a character cool, then it's
I think
awesome.
they did Rey
but if
fine.
you force it down somebody's throat,
Yeah, why
the
do you
first
hate
one, I
Rey
think,
so
worked.
much? Like, what's wrong with Rey?
Bro, she beat Luke Skywalker.
Even in the second one.
okay, I don't like that she was scripted to beat Luke, but I do
Yeah.
like her as a character.
I don't like her.
I think she's
about
got a cool story. I don't know the story
Okay,
for sure.
Explain
also,
to me
going
why.
back to Last Jedi, she literally gave into the dark side. When she
Yeah,
jumped
but
in
Luke
the hole.
did too.
Yeah, Luke
When,
did
whenever
too.
he went in, it was like that symbolic of them both going in.
And yeah.
But I thought Yoda told him to go in there. So what's the difference?
I think Yoda told him like if you have to or something like that. Like yeah, I don't actually
because
thought-
Luke
I thought
told
Yoda
her
him
not to give into it.
I think Yoda told him not to,
I don't know.
and he said
but
something.
Yoda
He
just sat
put his
there.
belt on.
That's like
and
an
he went
arc
in.
of like the whole story though, with like being a Jedi is like kind of going to
overcoming the
the temptation.
like the
or
old
whatever.
Republic. The way that they would train their Jedi's is they would be forced to face the dark side,
But also the theme.
and many of them would convert.
Luke's theme was also like the Force doesn't belong to just like the light side. Remember that? Why did they add that in there? Like it doesn't belong to just the Jedi or this and that. Do you remember that theme?
I don't remember the movie very well, honestly. I just remember not liking
I
it.
don't remember that part.
I don't remember because then there's stuff with like the books. Remember?
Yeah,
and he went on
yeah.
like a tangent about the
But
like,
didn't
the
she
Jedi
end up taking the
Order.
books?
Yeah, she
Didn't
had him in her- in
Yeah.
the-
Right, but he went on like
Millennium
a tangent about how the Jedi Order was like ruined everything, and like I don't
Yeah.
remember any of that. I need to probably read. No, I don't want to though.
We're so opinionated about it.
Yeah.
we can't remember
We saw
half
it
the
one
movie.
time.
You
Yeah.
guys are like, why don't you like Ray? I'm like, I can't remember why I don't like.
You know
Rey.
who's like
I
a
just don't like her.
surprising like Austin? He's a surprisingly big Star Wars fan, but he didn't like talk about it.
Really?
That man watched Star Wars all the time. He'll randomly put it on and I'm like,
I didn't know that.
yeah, all the like he'll watch it more than we do
I haven't
all
watched
the time.
I haven't watched one in a long time.
I haven't either. I don't think I've watched one since the last.
The
Jedi.
Force
No, but I watched
Awakens-
Solo like a week ago.
But that doesn't.
But
like,
before that, I didn't watch
yeah,
it months.
I've watched Solo once, and I was like,
I watched Solo.
It was fine. I liked it.
it was good.
It's
It's
not-
not
it's
something
not-
I'd want to go
it didn't
see
ruin-
again.
it
I
didn't
love the
ruin anything
end.
for
I
me.
love the end of
I
Solo.
did
And it was
too,
cool.
I love
because you
the
see
end.
who he is.
You see
why
what's going on.
Right,
But I
yeah.
even like the like the betrayal and like that kind of aspect. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool.
I liked the
enjoyed
guy
that.
too as Han. I thought he did. a
Yeah,
good job.
I thought he did. At first I was like, I hate this.
Yeah,
But
because you saw the photo of him, like as him casted, like F that guy.
Yeah,
it's like,
because it's
where's-
Han though.
Yeah.
I mean,
But you get over that pretty quick, and you like
Yeah.
him. I think he did a really good job as Han. Was kind of
thought he
portraying
did.
that type of thing.
And same for the Rogue One. Like all the cast of Rogue One, I loved all of them.
That's
Except
okay. If
maybe
that's
well-
what they're going to be good at, if that's what Disney's going to be good at, is like spin-off, like
I'm okay
anthology
with it.
things,
I'm fine with it.
go for it because
Yeah.
that was
I'm
good.
100% fine.
Like tell the expanded story of what's happening. Don't necessarily mess
just-
with Luke and kill him off in a dumb way and
don't
kill
even
Han.
touch
yeah.
it if you're gonna
Don't
do that.
just stab Han in the stomach and then throw him off the side. And
I like that though.
I didn't.
Why?
I didn't like that.
I like
Not
it.
because I love Han so much, but because I just didn't like the moment. I didn't.
But I wish that moment would have sparked Luke. You know what I mean? 'Cause, wait a minute,
That
where's
could've.
Han? And then nothing.
Yeah, there was a
Could you
disconnect.
imagine
with
if
everything.
it's
I know.
happening? Sad music's going on,
Or
and
if
you
you
start to
just-
see him fall, and then it like cuts to a scene, and you see like a man with rain in front of him, and he's hooded, and then he like turns his head like right when it happens, and that's like it.
Yes.
I'd have
that
liked,
be dope?
I'd have liked
I'm
this as
saying,
soon as
dude.
Kylo did that. As soon as he killed him, all of a sudden he starts getting choked, and it's Luke galaxy away,
Boom!
choking this dude because he's so freaking strong. Why can't he?
Yeah.
And then
Darth Vader chokes people that's across everything.
also, that would be a connection to why he's crazy. Like maybe he
Yeah,
got
he's
maybe he
going
got
crazy.
touched with the dark side a little bit, and so maybe he is this halfway point between dark and light. And then you'd be like, oh, okay, now I get a little bit why he tried to kill him because he knew maybe he was going to kill Han, and he was trying to hold that back
Honestly,
or something.
if they made Luke like a bad guy, I don't think I would have hated that. If they made
I
him like a
wouldn't either.
bad guy,
But if they had to commit to like what. You know what I mean? Like they kept him in the middle.
right, they didn't show him, and then they like made him old and
kind of
decrepit,
yeah.
and then they brought him back. And
I
killed
like
him.
that. I like that they needed to commit. That would have
Yeah.
been like if maybe he runs into
The
like the
whole
old Sith
movie,
Empire,
though.
the old Sith Emperor or
He
something.
goes to
Absolutely.
Korriban or something. It
Yeah,
just messes with him.
and just it like the old guy or the old Sith get in his head and he changes.
Or they could have had something with the Emperor. Maybe they will. That's what like theory is. The Emperor will be back, and obviously because he had like the
laugh.
voice or whatever or the laugh. But maybe if they go that way, that'll be cool. But like the Emperor was so strong. Like if Luke, kind of got tempted by the Emperor after this to kind of take up where Darth Vader left off, that type of thing, without being that dramatic, and then maybe he loses the Jedi Temple, a certain way. And it just kind of propels him over the edge of like, why isn't this going right? Why can't I rebuild the Jedi?
Yeah.
And then he just kind of transforms into this kind of more villainous character. That would have been kind of cool to see because it's like this super strong Jedi. Because in Legends, in at least one of them, I don't know if how that works. If they're all connected, if they all agree, or if certain legends are different from others.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, at least one of them had Luke turn to the dark side. At least for a little bit.
He chose to.
Yeah,
he chose to
because
because he wanted to
experience it to get
Yeah.
stronger, which
Yeah.
he came back from after.
Like what a
Who
thug
was
does
it?
that?
Was that a story? And then
It was
like
a book.
I think that was a
Okay,
book.
that's what I thought.
I think that was a book.
Yeah.
Well,
Which that's a really
that
cool
whole
idea.
movie was indecisive though. Like from the whole trailer of them teasing like who's gonna be on what side. He's like, "Come
'Cause
with
you-
me." You think Ray's going to the dark side,
And you
then-
think Kylo by the end of it is going to go to
Yeah.
the light or something? Like you
Yeah.
really, dude, that's actually a good perspective.
The
Like
whole
the whole
movie's just
movie is kind of
indecisive.
like
Yeah.
it's like they were like,
Maybe
"Should we-
it's-
what do we do now? I don't
Yeah.
know. Keep him good. Okay, but what about
Well,
now?
even
let's
Leia
do
was
this.
indecisive. Then she's like, "Where do you go?" And she's like, "I don't know. I'm following you." You're like you can't have one decisive person this whole movie. Makes me so
do you
mad.
think Leia? I mean, she can't because the actress is dead. But do you
Rip.
think she's going to play a part in the next movie, like
yeah,
a big part?
they already showed it, right?
Like hugging, yeah, but it looked like it was like a goodbye hug. So I don't know what that would be.
I don't know. I mean, I respected that they wanted to do something Force related to her, but I think that was the worst thing you could do is just have her
Just
float.
everything with this movie, man. I'm
Because she
telling
could have
you.
been
I
like,
think that was the
she could have
worst thing
been
you could've done.
like, what? All right. So as soon as they knew that she was brother and sister with Luke, wouldn't she be starting to be trained? Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't that process start happening? Like, hey, we need to get her
You know what'd been
lightsaber.
dope?
We
If
need to
they-
get her training, and then she's just like the same Leia. Old
Let's
Leia.
talk. Hold on. Go ahead. I'll say my.
I
thing
think it would have
after.
been dope if she like stopped some kind of like bullet or coming, something coming at her. Like they thought they were gonna be done, and then all of a sudden you look up and Leia's just like has her
Holding a
hand
laser.
up,
Kinda like
holding-
Kylo Ren
like
did.
Kylo did.
If Kylo could do that, could you
Yeah.
imagine years trained Master Jedi?
Yeah.
Freaking
Or
Yoda
Luke.
caught Palpatine's lightning in his hand
That
and
was
then
sick.
shot it back at him.
Yeah.
Show the Force, bro. I just want to see the Force go crazy.
Okay, so what I was
And
gonna
I think
say,
it did good in the Force Awakens with Kylo Ren at least
What'd they do?
with the Force.
Yeah.
he used
He
the,
was the
That,
only one
that
that could
catching
really
bullet
use
it.
thing. That catching bullet thing was
now
something. we
I
hadn't
gotta
seen.
say that I like the new effects they use for the Force, like the.
yeah.
I really do
I did
because
too.
it feels like okay, the universe.
and it
is
shakes
moving.
it too. It's like
Yeah.
and like you feel like the theater's shaking.
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that.
Okay,
for
that's a good way
So this is what I say. Think about how absolute powerful Palpatine was. So Darth Bane was the original one that started the rule of two, right?
Right, where
Because
there's a
there's
master and
tons
an
of other
apprentice.
Siths, but they all kept killing each other to try to be more powerful. So Bane said, "Let's get rid of everybody except for us, and we will conquer the galaxy." So him and his apprentice do that. He develops a way to transfer his essence into somebody else's body, so that he is forever immortal. So there's theories that Darth Vader is actually Darth Palpatine. He's just continued his legacy all the way through. But either way, let's just say that he isn't, that somebody figured it out. They have the ability, theoretically, if Master has passed down to Apprentice, the ability to transfer their essence into other people. Not saying Palpatine did this, but that's how powerful he was. He could keep himself immortal and actually be immortal.
The thing that worries me is that sounds so cool, but I just wonder if like the people don't look at like if the directors or whoever's in charge of it are like, well, no, that we're not going to look at that kind of stuff as being.
I don't.
real.
I'm not saying like I don't think you're saying this, but like I don't think that's what happened. But I think you're right. I don't
Well,
think
do
they
you
look
think
at
they'd be
that
scared to do that?
to like
it-
look back at stuff.
yeah, or be scared to be like, hey, that stuff was really cool and they're super powerful, but we don't care about that stuff. Like,
we're
we
just gonna
want
make them on our level that we want them. Like,
Right,
is that
and
what
we're
you're
just gonna
saying?
make like the Jedi have like a little bit of Force. Yeah, they can do some things. Yeah, but like really cool stuff like that. Nah,
Yeah.
we ain't messing with that.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm
like-
I just watched
I
where,
ha- I hope
where he
that's not
catches
it.
the
Me
lightning,
too.
and it low key like the effects are so they're kind of sucky, bro.
Well,
like
this
you
was,
look at the effects.
What year did this come out?
I don't know.
Well, this was two. This is the second one.
yeah. Watch like Force. I don't know. I, mean, I bet it was dope back
It
then.
ain't
That's
bad.
dope. Yeah,
That's not
but
too
like
bad.
I
You
don't know.
hating? Nah, you
I'm
hating.
hating. I'm
You
hating.
stretching.
I'm stretching.
No, go to Revenge of the Sith when he catches Palpatine's.
I didn't know
projection.
he caught.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't remember him catching.
I saw Revenge of the Sith in theaters. The place erupted when
Really?
Yoda walked in, and those two guards were there. and he was
Oh,
like,
you.
Bro,
Bro, that was sick. That was so cool.
Hey, we don't give that moment enough credit.
That was a
honestly.
sick moment.
That's when you like. That's
People started
genuine force
dying.
power. That's what people would actually do.
Yeah, bro.
You walk
If
into
I'm
a
the
place
SF
and you're
if
like-
I'm Yoda, I'm killing everybody by just like
All
a
I have to
snap.
do is move my hand slightly, and they go.
That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Yoda was the best.
Hey,
man.
Revenge of the Sith is a great movie. I really like that one.
Think about. So this would go back to this point. Think about any character that you love as much as Yoda. Is there anybody in these new two?
You know, I do like Rey. I don't love her. So no, as much as Yoda, no. There's not a supporting cast member or a
And
supporting
Yoda's
member. in
not
this.
that massive of a deal in it. Look at Obi-Wan. Do you love anybody as much as you love
Okay, well, I
Obi-Wan?
love Obi-Wan. Love me some Obi-Wan.
Anakin. Do you love anybody as much as Anakin?
No,
That's what I'm saying, man.
no, I don't love as any much as
Listen,
as
y'all
much
know
as
I don't like
Han,
Rey.
Luke, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda,
Yeah,
Chewbacca.
Why not Ray? Why do you not like Ray?
I think it's purely because the second movie. First movie, I thought I liked her in the first movie. Second movie, she just kind of.
Yeah, but that's every movie though.
I know, but I just
That ain't
like,
racist.
it just makes it high, bro.
That was dumb.
I just thought of it being
I'd
high.
have to watch the second movie again to tell you why.
The second
I
movie.
can't remember why I don't like
Oh,
her.
like The Last Jedi.
I
Why?
know that there was part. Ask me why one more time.
I'm trying to think of why you would. Like Ray wasn't bad in that movie.
Yes,
But
she
that's a
wasn't
good point. No, you asked a good question. Like, even Lando, right?
Yeah.
Like Lando and Ray are kind of equivalent to like how much I care. I probably care about Ray a little more, but that's Lando's like low on the list of people that you'd care about in Star Wars. Mace Windu, I think Mace Windu and
For
Boba
sure.
Fett are probably cooler than anybody I've seen in the new trilogy.
Yeah.
Poe's cool, sure. Finn was cool in the first one. They made him
Finn's cool
dumb
in
in
the
the
first
second
one.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one he's still kind of.
I thought they were gonna do something with him. Like you had all this potential to do stuff with him. I don't know. Maybe they go back, but then again, you're like, what's the whole point of these first two movies if you're just gonna rewrite everything that you screwed up on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they really can't do anything about him now.
Yeah, you can't
Already
turn him into a
did.
Jedi after like teasing that he was, and then being like, nope, he's not, and then be like, oh yeah, no, he is. Like,
Yeah.
what?
It's ridiculous.
I just want to see a cool battle at least. At least entertain. If you're gonna make a bad
I wouldn't
movie,
get my hopes up.
entertain me.
I wouldn't get my hopes up.
Even bad movies have good battles.
Yeah, you're not lying.
Like-
You're not lying.
There's three really cool parts in the Last Jedi. It's Yoda. When you see Yoda, that's pretty cool. When the hyperspace where it jumps through that ship, that's sick. And then when Rey and Kylo kill all those guards, that's really cool too.
Yeah, I forget about that scene. That was a good scene.
Like other than those three scenes,
Save that last one. I didn't hear it. I
when
was typing.
Kylo and Rey,
Rilo Kin.
yeah, Rilo. So I screwed up again when
You did.
Kylo and Rey kill those guards in the ship.
That was a cool button.
That was cool. It was kind of
Yeah.
weird that those guards had like nunchucks and stuff.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
also
that was bizarre. But and
and
they
then
suck
also
at
how the
fighting.
lightsabers, some of the lightsabers worked. It was kind of weird. Like it didn't cut through the ground. Somehow they could stop the
Oh, really?
lightsabers.
Yeah, I mean they had some blades and stuff that
Yeah.
could stop things, but I don't know. It was a
Did
cool
y'all-
scene, but that's,
So I just pulled up this thing. I asked the question like, why don't I like Ray or something like that on this?
Yeah.
And you got people on here that's like, she's super arrogant. I don't like that she's arrogant. She's untrained. Then you have people that are like you, like I kind of like Ray. I don't understand why you guys don't like her. And then you got people going back on the that she's just. But then they bring up sexism. So whatever. Anyways, I just think it's funny that you kind of got this polarization on her character. That some people don't like her, but then other people like really like her.
Yeah.
hey, if she turns into a bad guy, I won't really hate that either. Just do something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay,
Just-
here's a
Commit to something, please. Please.
okay. Here's a good line that I like is the reason I don't like Ray is that she's the best at everything for no real good reason.
Okay. I can respect that.
So that's what I'm saying. Like second movie,
Yeah.
think about it. And she kind of does have this like arrogant vibe. No, I don't actually think she's that arrogant in the second movie. She has this zealous, like she's wanting to learn. So that's cool. But I don't see a lot of like development in her, you know. And I don't know if I
Yeah.
liked her relationship between her and Kylo. I didn't understand it.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like
And then her and Finn, and you're like, what is
her
happening?
and Finn, and then
Yeah, I thought her and Finn were gonna be a
a
thing.
thing, and that's cool because you like him in the first
And then
movie,
he
right?
kisses
You're like
that
you're
like one
pumped.
girl, that random girl that they just threw in.
What's the
The
Rose.
Rose, that random chick that they
No,
just
I don't want
tossed
to
in.
talk about Rose. It's just like,
That's our generation's
just a
Jar Jar
bad-
Binks right there.
Is it? That might be.
That's our
No, that
generation's
ain't our
Jar Jar.
our generation's was Jar Jar.
I'm
Binks.
sure
this
she's
is
a
like
sweet actress.
This is like
This is the
canon
new series.
generation.
Did you see the actor that played Jar Jar, like, his comments years after, how it, like, messed him up or something like
Why?
that?
But you don't have to tell anybody you're Jar Jar.
Yeah,
I
Even
know.
if you do, it's like, yeah, it was a stupid script. Sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
people
Like,
are going
what
to find out who's Jar Jar.
But even so, like,
Then the internet wasn't as big though, so I mean, they're like, could you imagine now?
He just said he got a lot of bad comments that people were hating on him because of his character. You don't not see that?
I mean,
I've
I'll
heard
have
of
to pull
that.
up
I
that
heard
out.
something.
Yeah.
I
Like
feel
he-
like if I'm
he went
Jar
to, like,
Jar and I
depression.
understand how stupid of a role I'm playing, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I got paid.
Yeah,
that was the
that's what I'm
dumbest thing. That was the
saying. Were you
dumbest
in the
money
Star
I've
Wars
ever
movie?
made.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Y'all didn't meet. Did he ever meet Anakin? Yeah, he did. Right?
Yeah, he
Or was
did. They
the
called him
Obi-Wan?
Annie.
Oh, that's right, Annie. Yeah.
Oh, bro, I hate that. That was trash. That movie's. Oh, that
All
Jar
right,
Jar
then what's
sucked.
Rose's? We don't kill. Oh, the best meme of that is like we don't. Whatever she says the end, and then the big laser hits the wall. It's like we're not gonna win by killing people, but by saving the people we love. And then the whole laser hits the wall, and it's like opens up. Do you not remember that?
Nah, I don't remember that.
Remember Rose takes out Finn because Finn's gonna go sacrifice himself. He's like, we're not gonna.
Oh yeah, she like comes out of left field and slams into him.
him. And then first of all, they're right in front of like the whole entire.
And second of all, they don't die
Yeah,
by hitting each other
I know.
at like
Where
400
did
miles
she
an
come
hour.
from?
They're,
Somewhere.
they're both on the scooter thing.
Said
Yeah.
somewhere.
Because he's like he's like attacking.
So
the
is
wall,
she-
or
is
the
she
laser.
like-
They didn't even commit to that. They're like, oh, Finn's gonna die. Yeah. You're like cheering for Finn because
You're
he's about to
thinking
blow up
something's happening.
everyone, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And this man, and then she comes in, like, ruins his entire, that scene with the rest of the movie.
And then like roll, and they don't die though.
Yeah.
And then
And
the-
somehow
all
they
these
run,
bad-
they
the
run
whole-
all the way back.
Yeah, the whole
They run
battle.
all the
it's
way
like
back.
15 seconds of him driving super fast, and they run back for like 10, and they're there.
Yeah, not to mention the army is behind them. There's like just
Yeah, these-
standing at them.
I know, that's what I'm
And
saying.
it's not like they're hard to see. They're literally two
white ground,
in
right?
white ground.
But she says like whatever her line was. Remember, she's like, "We're not gonna win by killing those we hate, but by saving those we love." And then right after she says that, the big laser beam that like goes in to open the door, like it hits the wall. It's like, poof, and it's just like, well, you just killed all the people you love.
Oh,
you
that's
didn't
a
save
good, yeah, that's a
anybody.
good- okay, I
It's
see.
just like what? So
And then they kiss. They're just stupid, random.
yeah,
Like,
like why are you
kissing.
adding this? It's like the Hulk and Scarlet Witch romance. You don't need that. You know what I mean?
It's forced.
Yeah, very forced. That's I remember Joe and what?
Scarlet Witch?
Scarlet.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Johansson.
Scarlett
Okay, I was
Johansson.
like,
always
wait,
say
I thought-
Scarlett-
what you were saying.
I
Yeah,
thought she liked
my bad.
Vision.
No,
Okay.
no, Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow.
That was weird too, but I mean that's fine.
but that's in the comics,
She's
and
a
they
robot.
didn't force
Yeah.
that as much as they did.
No,
with the Hulk.
the Hulk one. I don't know. I never thought about that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I could see it. Being
That one's
forced.
not even as bad as the Rose.
it's not as bad.
But the Rose one's just annoying. Like really, because you're just pissed off about like what you said. Like you were like, dang, I don't really want Finn to die, but this is
Yeah.
heroic. This is a cool moment.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, oh, what? Where did she come from? And
His-
they didn't die. They went.
His rating on us, if he would have died, would have gone up so much.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, now I respect him. He's dope. He went and sacrificed himself to
Right.
save all these people.
What else is he doing? Honestly, what else is he
I
doing?
know.
He's going to these horse planets, and that's it.
Like, he doesn't
Yeah.
really have a job. He's not good at fighting anymore. Like, he wasn't really before. Like, he's not
He had
better
a
than
cool
any...
story when he like rebelled against like the Empire. Like it's like, whoa, what's going on?
See, The Force Awakens is a good. I thought it was
Force-
good.
The
When you
more
put
we
that
talk about
against
it, the
the-
more I'm like,
Okay,
Force
you see?
Awakens was good.
It's
when you put
not
that one
bad.
against 8, it's friggin' good.
well, yeah, for sure.
But even next to like, okay, I am putting it against other ones, and I'm like, okay.
I mean, it's probably better
But-
than 1 and 2, like what you
Yeah.
said. It's probably better
Yeah.
than 1 and 2. It's not better than 2's fighting. In the last 30 minutes of 2 is sick.
Yeah,
The first
For
2
sure.
hours, trash.
for sure.
yeah.
The Battle of
I agree.
Geonosis,
I get
would-
clouded by that though.
I'd be,
I look at 2 and I'm like, I loved 2, but then I would always just fast forward to
See,
the
I
end.
like 2 too, because I like the clones. I like Obi-Wan doing all
Right,
that
but
stuff.
that's
I
what-
like the assassination attempt at the beginning. Like, I liked all of it.
Yeah. Is it good? It might be good.
It's a long one, isn't it?
I think it's like the longest
That's
one.
Attack of Clones. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
let
it's
me
Attack
find
of
out.
the Clone. It might not be
Um,
as long as Revenge of the Sith.
Maybe it just
but-
feels long. I just feel like there's a lot of missions going on within it. You know what I mean?
They go to Geonosis and they go to like that factory.
That's the one where they end with Count Dooku.
2 hours and 22
right?
minutes. Yeah,
Okay.
Count Dooku at the end, and
And then-
Anakin gets his hand.
But
cut
that's
off.
hours,
when
22
that's when the
isn't
Clone
that
Wars
long.
starts, right? So the Clone Wars is in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay.
Has anybody got their hand cut off in these two?
No.
Because that's like a big part of it. Like
Yeah.
Lucas talks about like
you had
having
Han Solo.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like getting hands cut off is such a Star Wars thing. They've even
Han
incorporated
Solo
like.
hasn't had his hand cut off.
No, I'm saying in Han Solo he just got stabbed in the stomach, but other
Yeah.
than that, you haven't really had anyone.
I
You had
didn't
some
even think of
heads
that.
come
I
off.
never heard that.
With Kylo Ren's and stuff. You had some heads come off.
Yeah, but it's not. It's like the
do
hand
you mean
and
his
the
heads come
fusion
off?
between.
Whenever
like,
they fight the Red Guard, whatever they're called, they cut some heads off.
But why is that significant?
I can't remember. It's like the fusion between technology and human, and it was something. But think about it. Anakin had it done, Episode 2.
I thought that's the
Luke
only
had
reason.
it done, Episode 5, and then.
I thought that was it.
Well, I know, but it's like those are big ones, I guess.
Well, I mean,
I
that's a
thought
big
that they
scene
did-
whenever he looks at his dad's arm, and it's like the same as his, right?
yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think that's why they did that. Is to like show the father-son type
Yeah.
connection thing.
I just know it's a very big
I don't know.
star. Like, every time I watch, like,
Maybe Ray will get hers cut off, and then her Ray.
I would be okay. Something. Just
I'd be
something
okay
needs,
with that.
Something
I-
needs to happen. You know what I
Luke
mean?
should have cut her hand off. That would have been kind of dope. They get in that fight and he wins because he's who he is and he should have won. And then cuts her
Should've
hand
won
off.
for sure. He like fell back. He's like, "Oh, don't kill me."
Yeah.
Like, what
Oh,
the
I've
heck?
never seen somebody so powerful as you. Oh, okay. Oh, no.
Golly, that was bad. You go on and on. This whole thing's been about how bad.
Yeah, we're done.
episode-
We're at an
yeah.
hour, so we probably
Look
should
at
wrap
that.
it
We're just gonna have to label this
Definitely
episode
there.
just
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
That's all it's
That's
gonna
it.
be.
Episode Star Wars.
Star Wars hate. Star Wars episode
Hate
9,
Star Wars.
10, whatever. Episode
We
is.
did like say how we could fix it, so I felt like it was productive.
Kinda.
in that
Just
way.
be like, just ask people that like Star Wars. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah,
you know, at
they'll
least
tell
get
you.
some good ideas.
They'll tell you. I bet it'll be.
Add in a
anyone.
few battles for once. You know, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Make it actually feel like what they're doing is important.
Yeah.
Explain the universe a little bit more. Explain to us. Are they like? What's the rest of the New Republic doing? Is it all gone now? Did they blow all of the planets up? Like, who are these?
Yeah, because like with the Clone Wars, when they did the Clone Wars, they like in episode 2, like begun the Clone Wars has, and then
Yeah.
they
That's a
created
dope
like
line.
they created video games, they created like some board games or whatever, but then they created TV shows, and like there's so many things that like elaborate on this little part that
And they can't elaborate off of these.
Listen, if they just have it'd be a super easy scene. They're all sitting around a table. They have one of those projections of like the whole universe, and they even have like color coded. Like, okay, this is where the bad guys are. This is all the good guys. Like just blue, red, and blue. And then I'd be
Yeah.
like,
I'd love
okay,
that. I'd be
now
happy.
I understand a little bit more on what this actual galaxy is
I don't
looking
know what
like
these
and
people
what's
are.
the war.
I don't know.
Why didn't
they're
that
all-
one girl tell the Finn and all of them about the plan too? That was another thing. It's like, no, we're not going to tell you. We're just going to evacuate. And then
I
it was
don't-
like, oh,
yeah.
the plan was to go to the planet the whole entire time. Remember that?
Yeah, that was
I
bizarre.
remember that. I remember
There's a
coming
lot of
out like, why
continuity
didn't she
type
tell?
things like
Why
that.
didn't she tell him?
Yeah.
What was the reason?
Yeah, I know. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys want to be done?
Sure.
I mean, I could keep going, to be honest. I'm not even a big Star Wars fan, so I can't imagine how y'all could go.
I'm good.
But
I'm done.
I'm saying I could go, but I don't want to.
No, it's whatever,
For the
man.
sake of the podcast.
It's okay.
And for the sake of people listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, all three of them.
All
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll be back here next week. Adios.
See ya.